Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. I gotta admit, I'm not feeling too good today, but I did want to be productive in spite of the fact I've got a splitting headache. I don't know if it's because I've got COVID or just a flu, or I've eaten something wrong, or that's not agreed with me, or whatever. But for some reason, I've got a real bad headache and yeah, and a bit of a cold. But as I say, I did want to be productive, and I thought about this idea last night, so I thought I'd cover it. And it's basically the Asian Development Bank and my dreams for the Asian Development Bank and how I hope to put forward my dreams, and hopefully the Asian Development Bank will see these videos and see some positives of these ideas that I share. But yeah, I hope you appreciate that I am putting extra effort today because I've got pain right here in my head. But anyway, yeah, it might be COVID, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure, but I suppose the only thing I'll have to do is just get some rest later, get something to eat to give me some energy, get some rest. I couldn't get out of bed till like 12 o'clock. I was awake. I know that sometimes happens to me anyway, but I was awake, but I just couldn't actually get the energy to actually get my butt out of bed. So I don't know if that's because I overslept or slept at the wrong time or underslept, or maybe that's what it is. But it does feel like I'm coming down with something, or I've got something like from this morning, because I've got pain, I'd say, just about there. So in that sort of area. But anyway, I try to be positive, and hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow, or maybe even later if I'm lucky. But yeah, hopefully once I've had a few croissants to eat, I'll feel a bit better with some energy or whatever. Anything else to eat. I do like croissants though. Anyway, I'm going to try and stop waffling and crack on with this list of my ideas. And as ever, I appreciate your support for my channel, like liking the videos, sharing the videos, offering your suggestions, constructive criticisms and feedback, and that sort of thing. What do you think of the Asian Development Bank? Do you do you know anything about the Asian Development Bank or anything like that? So I'd love to read your comments as ever. Um, I saw something recently which said about, well, I saw it before, but I checked it again, which said something about the Young Turks having over 1 billion views. So I thought that'd be interesting. Just to have 1 million views would be pretty cool, let alone subscribers. But anywho, yeah, sorry. Anyway, I'm going to try stop waffling. So here goes. So number one, I would love for the Asian Development Bank to support Asians uh, to network um, together, and to basically to bring Asian nations together through enterprise and projects and things like that, to help Asian nations to like unite together, and to fund Asian businesses like startups and businesses generally, to help them to do as well as possible, just generally, as well as possible, yeah, to fund Asian businesses, and look at how they can fund them better and fund them more, and like support more Asian entrepreneurs, more Asians to become entrepreneurs, and Asian projects generally, like construction projects all across Asia, and look at how Asian nations can work together in business and other areas, which I hope will bring them together and like agree on areas, and look at, like, agree to disagree on some things. Um, uh, Posing the question in there, but yeah, so I'd love to see how they could help, like how Asian nations can work together and share ideas, and find a way to help make sure the best ideas win, help allow people to submit ideas to the A.D.B, Asian Development Bank, and look at how they, yeah, what ideas can be promoted, and like how they can put them into practice and things like that. Number two, on that note, like what Asian nations can learn from each other. I'd love to look into like and love for the Asian Development Bank, most importantly, perhaps, to look into what are the best way, what Asian nations can learn from each other. I'd love to be, like to create a pan Asian network generally, and like banking, and business, and other such projects could be a part of that, like helping each other's architectural or general engineering and design projects, and all sorts of things like that, all sorts of projects from Asia, like helping Asians to be proud of each other and learn from each other. Excuse me, sorry, and unite together as much as possible. Like I think it'd be interesting to see what How many people are in Asia? I'm just trying to remember the number. I think it's over 4 billion people probably, or I'll say about 4 billion or so people in Asia, like what they could achieve if they work together. So I hope they can achieve a lot and learn from each other and do as well as possible. Learn about each other's cultures, countries, and that sort of thing, and tour each other's nations and stuff like that. I'd love to do a tour of Asia in the future as well, and like share ideas and things like that, and see what I can learn about Asia, and like maybe see if they can get anything from my ideas as well, my ideas, and what I could teach them about things like dyslexia or stuff like that, perhaps. Um, and moving on, number three, um, I'd love to hear from Asians like what does freedom mean to Asians, and like how I'll say organisations such as the Asian Development Bank, maybe even working with others, can look at how they can fund businesses and support those businesses to achieve their full potential, how they can help to ensure that startups, new businesses, first-time businesses, and things like that have more chance to succeed and also to thrive. Helping startups to not only start their businesses but help them to grow, but also supporting startups, SMEs, and that sort of thing, and then helping them to grow from startups to SMEs, and then from SMEs to bigger businesses across Asia. Like Asians supporting each other and buying from each other's companies and supporting each other as much as possible, and that kind of thing. And maybe even work with the diaspora, which I hope to come to. Diaspora, how we pronounce it, including even Eurasians like myself or part Asian people. Eurasians meaning you're part European, part Asian, or even Blasians, part black and part Asian people, like what they can contribute to Asia as well, perhaps. Um, Number four, I hope they'll look into how Asian nations can have peace amongst each other and work on trade and business instead of going to wars and fighting each other, and look at like non-aggression pacts, which I hope they'll stick to as much as possible. And like an Asian Union could perhaps work with the Asian Development Bank and other organizations to ensure like peace pays, and I think peace can lead to stability, growth, and tourism and prosperity. Another P, of course, peace can lead to prosperity. I think that's important for Asian nations and individuals to know. And also, I think that nations who fight each other in Asia or go against each other should be like condemned by the rest of the Asian nations, especially if there's a pan-Asian network, which I hope to come to in the future. I know I've discussed it in the past, but I hope to discuss it again in April, May, and June, which are 3 months where I hope, as well as parts of August as well, to benefit Asia. And I hope that Asian nations will be blessed, especially in those 3 or 4 months in particular. But yeah, I hope they'll have networks between each other, like events hosted by different Asian nations, look at how Asians can cooperate more, make peace amongst each other, maybe even make, I don't agree with any wars, but maybe even make a deal where they have a non-interference or non-aggression pact with Russia, so they sort of stay neutral in wars like that, and just try to keep Asian nations out of wars. So then hopefully Russia won't attack Asian nations hopefully. Number five, I know it's not guaranteed, but number five, also I'd love to hear from Asian nations' ambitions, and as I've often talked about in the past, like when I talked about the BRICS, I'd love for um, countries like India to talk about their goals within Asia as well, like as well as with the BRICS and other such organisations, like how they hope to become a multi-trillion-dollar economy. I suppose they're already kind of a trillion-dollar economy, but they want to be a $5 trillion economy. I think it's by 2025, and stuff like that. Yeah. So how can they achieve that sort of goal and become a $10 trillion economy by 2030, or if not before, and like how they can keep each other safe, protect each other, and help each other with their goals. Like China could discuss with India how they could work on their goals. And I'd love to make a Chindian partnership and like bring the two nations together, two great nations, big nations together. Number six, I'd love to promote Italian football, as I often say, in Asia as well. And I'd love for the Asian Development Bank to invest in Italian football, A.D.B for Italian football, and stuff like that, given my patterns and stuff like that. All being the fourth in the sentence. I know I have some quirky patterns, but yeah, I'd love for them to invest in Italian football. And number seven, also in Celtic. And I dream that God will keep them safe and like protect Asia and bless Asia as much as possible. Obviously, a bit biased of me. And to tackle poverty and have human rights and religious rights and all that. How the Asian Development Bank itself can work with an Asian Union or an Asian alliance to ensure those sorts of things. And again, like support tackling poverty, helping people to uplift themselves, helping Asian economies to reach their full potential and do as well as possible. I love for Asian nations to talk about what they love about each other and be positive going into the future. 9, I'd love to promote, again, Asian projects, poetry, art, writing, architecture, engineering projects, design projects, entrepreneurship, especially, and that sort of thing. When it comes to tech, I was going to say, I forgot to say this point, but when it comes to tech, I mainly wish to support, or solely perhaps wish to support Indigenous Africans and Australasians, but the non-tech areas like STEM, like science, engineering, maths, and possibly learning about like how they can communicate, learning English or learning different languages, learning each other's languages, how they can trade together as much as possible between Asian nations, increase trade as much as possible, make like trading blocks and unity in that way and that kind of thing. And yeah, just support each other's projects as much as possible and look at how they can invest in each other's projects, fund each other's projects, buy from each other, support each other's businesses to grow. Obviously, businesses need capital, even I know that. And uh, yeah, support each other's projects as much as possible, and support, especially in enterprise. That's what I was going to say. And number 10, I hope they'll promote youth empowerment and help young people to learn about business, maybe even teach business in schools and teach about money in schools and how they can be financially empowered, financially literate, and that kind of thing, especially amongst girls, but young people generally, youths and all that kind of thing, helping people from the youngest possible age to learn about business, and especially the under 30s and that kind of thing. And again, working with international organisations, maybe even working with Forbes Asia and other such groups to NGOs, charities, organisations, businesses, other banks, and that sort of thing to look at how to help Asian economies to achieve their full potential and do as well as possible. And again, empower the youth with financial literacy and things like that. And Asian scientists can work together on curing illnesses and diseases and just basically making the world a better place. Anywho, as ever, I'd love to read your thoughts, and I am out. Peace and love.